Growing up, everyone said I was the strong one, not because I was fearless or loud, but because I learned early how to stand still while everything around me fell apart. When our parents fought, I pulled my sister Lily into my room and told her stories until she fell asleep. When they finally divorced, she cried in my arms while I pretended I wasn't breaking too. Lily was younger by 3 years, but sometimes it felt like the gap was much wider. She was soft in ways the world loves to take advantage of. She trusted easily, loved deeply, and believed people when they promised they would never hurt her. I was the opposite. I watched, I calculated, I protected, and I protected her with everything I had. When she struggled in school, I stayed up late helping her study, even when I had my own exams. When she made mistakes, I became the excuse. It was my fault, I'd say. I told her to do it. Our parents believed me every time. Lily would look at me with wide, grateful eyes, and that look alone made it worth it. After the divorce, things got harder. Money was tight, emotions were tighter, and Lily seemed to fall apart piece by piece. When she couldn't afford rent, she moved into my tiny apartment. I gave her my bed and slept on the couch without complaint. When she lost her job, I picked up extra shifts. When she cried at 3 in the morning over another broken relationship, I listened, even when my eyes burned with exhaustion. People told me I was enabling her, that I was doing too much, that she needed to learn to stand on her own. She's my sister, I'd say. That's what family does. Lily called me her hero, her safe place, the only person she trusted completely. Hearing that filled a quiet, aching space inside me. I didn't need praise or thanks. Just knowing she felt safe was enough. But what I didn't see then was how safety can turn into dependence, how protection can become expectation, how love, when given without limits, can slowly erase the line between sacrifice and self-destruction. I thought being strong meant never saying no. I thought loyalty meant carrying her burdens no matter how heavy they became. I didn't realize that by always catching her when she fell, I was teaching her something dangerous, that I would always be there to take the impact, even if it destroyed me. And I never imagined that one day, the person I protected most would be the one who pushed me hardest when it mattered the most. The night Lily begged me for help, she didn't knock. She rushed into my apartment like she was being chased, breath uneven, hands shaking so badly she nearly dropped her phone. Her eyes were red, swollen, and filled with the kind of fear you don't question, you just react to it. "I messed up," she whispered, collapsing onto the couch. "I really messed up." I sat beside her and waited. I always waited. Lily had a way of circling the truth, like if she moved slowly enough, it wouldn't hurt when it landed. She told me her ex had turned cruel after the breakup, that he was threatening to expose her, to ruin her life. She said he knew things he shouldn't, things that could get her in serious trouble. "I don't know what to do," she cried, gripping my arm. "I can't go to the police. I can't. Please don't tell me to." I felt that familiar tightening in my chest, the reflex to protect, to fix, to step in before the world crushed her again. I asked what she needed from me, even though part of me already knew the answer would scare me. She stood up and grabbed a small bag from near the door. "I just need you to hold on to this," she said quickly. "Just for a few days, until I figure something out." I hesitated. The bag wasn't heavy, but it felt heavy. My instinct screamed, a quiet warning I had learned to ignore where Lily was concerned. I asked her what was inside. "Nothing bad," she said too fast, then softer, "Nothing you need to worry about." She started crying again, real sobs this time, the kind that made her whole body shake. She begged me not once but again and again. She reminded me of everything we'd been through, how I'd always been there, how she trusted me more than anyone in the world. "You're the only one I have," she said. "Please." I looked at her and saw the little girl I used to shield from shouting matches and slammed doors. I saw fear, not manipulation, or maybe I just didn't want to see the difference. "Okay," I said quietly. "I'll help you." Relief washed over her face instantly, so fast it should have scared me. She hugged me tightly, thanking me over and over, promising it was temporary, promising she would come back for it soon. I put the bag in my closet and closed the door. That night, I barely slept. I told myself I was doing the right thing, that family means stepping into the fire, when someone you love is burning. What I didn't realize was that Lily wasn't asking me to help her escape the fire. She was asking me to stand in it alone. 3 days passed in uneasy silence. Lily didn't call. She didn't text. Every time my phone buzzed, my heart jumped, only to sink again when it wasn't her. I told myself she was laying low, figuring things out. I told myself that trusting her was the right choice. On the 4th morning, the sound of pounding jolted me awake. Not a knock, a command. Police, open the door. For a moment, I just stood there, frozen, my mind blank except for the echo of Lily's voice telling me everything would be fine. My hands shook as I opened the door. 2 officers stood there, faces hard, unreadable. They asked my name. They asked if I lived alone, then they stepped inside. My apartment suddenly felt unfamiliar, like it no longer belonged to me. They moved with purpose, opening drawers, checking closets. When one of them reached for the door where I had hidden Lily's bag, my chest tightened painfully. I tried to speak, but my voice wouldn't cooperate. The bag was pulled out, unzipped and searched. The room went silent, except for the sound of plastic rustling. The officer's expression changed just slightly, but enough. That was the moment I knew I was in trouble. They read me my rights as if they were reciting something ordinary, something routine. I kept saying Lily's name, trying to explain that it wasn't mine, that I was holding it for someone else. I asked them to call her. I begged them to let me explain. They didn't listen. Cold metal closed around my wrists. I had never been handcuffed before. The weight of it felt unreal, like a bad dream I couldn't wake up from. As they led me outside, I caught glimpses of neighbors peeking through doors and windows, their curiosity sharp and unforgiving. At the station, they finally let me make a call. I dialed Lily's number with shaking fingers. She answered on the 3rd ring. Her voice was calm, too calm. "I'm sorry," she said after I told her what was happening. I panicked. I didn't know what else to do. The room seemed to tilt. "You called them?" I asked, even though I already knew the answer. There was a pause. I had to protect myself. She said quietly. Those words hurt more than the handcuffs, more than the cell. She had begged me to help her, and then sacrificed me without hesitation. I spent the night in a holding cell, staring at stained walls, replaying every moment I'd ever defended her. Every lie I'd told for her, every time I'd chosen her over myself. And somewhere between the sirens fading and the silence settling in, something inside me finally broke. Not with anger, but with clarity. For the first time, I stopped asking how to save my sister, and started asking how to save myself. I was released days later, exhausted and hollow, carrying paperwork instead of answers. The charges didn't disappear immediately, but the truth had begun to surface in small, undeniable ways. The bag hadn't been mine. My record was clean, and Lily, without realizing it, had left behind a trail of words she could never erase. I didn't call her. I didn't scream or demand explanations. I went silent. At first, she left apologetic messages. Tearful voicemails about how scared she'd been, how she hadn't meant for things to go so far. Then the tone changed. She grew frustrated when I didn't respond. She accused me of abandoning her, of turning my back when she needed me most. That's when I knew she hadn't changed. She had just lost her shield. I began gathering everything. Text messages where she admitted the bag was hers. Voice notes where she begged me to hold on to it. Screenshots where she promised she'd take responsibility. I organized it all carefully, patiently, not out of revenge, but out of survival. Weeks later, my lawyer submitted the evidence. Slowly, the case unraveled. The charges were dropped. The officers who once looked at me with suspicion now nodded with quiet understanding. My name was cleared, but the damage lingered in whispers and sideways glances. Lily tried to rewrite the story. She told family I had misunderstood, told friends I had betrayed her trust. She painted herself as the victim again. But this time, I didn't rush in to fix it. When the truth finally reached the right ears, it didn't explode. It settled permanently. People stopped asking me why I wasn't helping Lily anymore. They started asking why she had done what she did. She called me one last time, crying, angry, desperate. "How could you do this to me?" she asked. I almost laughed. Instead, I spoke calmly. "I didn't do anything," I said. I just stopped protecting you from the consequences of your own choices. That was the sweetest revenge of all. I didn't need to destroy her. I didn't need to hurt her the way she hurt me. I simply stepped back and let the truth stand where I used to stand between her and reality. Life grew quieter after that, lighter. I learned how to say no without guilt, how to love without losing myself, how to be strong without being a sacrifice. Lily was my sister. She always would be. But I was finally my own person first. And walking away with my dignity intact and my future my own wasn't weakness. It was freedom.